California round stingray. Ow! Ah!
They thought nature was a playground. Nature thought otherwise. From snapping jaws to venomous strikes, these fearless fools took one step too close and got a brutal reality check. Animals don't care about your camera, your courage, or your ego. When you mess with the wild always fights back. This isn't about accidents. It's about bad decisions served with a side of danger and a whole lot of chaos. Some people tempt fate. These are the idiots who messed up with dangerous animals. Snake strike on the highway! A massive snake lunged at a motorcyclist speeding through Thailand, turning a routine ride into a sudden, slithering fight for survival. Tiger on the chase. Two friends sped down a jungle-lined road when a tiger burst out, chasing them fiercely. Claws almost caught them, but they escaped by inches. One friend's phone captured the terrifying close call, proof that nature doesn't tolerate fools. Snake in the bedroom. Khadija was deep asleep in her Bangkok home, completely unaware that a nightmare was creeping in, literally. Her son had installed CCTV cameras to check on her safety, but nothing could prepare him for what the night would reveal. In the middle of the night, the camera captured a chilling scene. Khadija's foot slipped off the bed, and in the shadows, a wild snake silently slithered through the dark, making its way straight into her bedroom. Its glowing eyes scanned the room until it found her vulnerable foot. Without warning, it struck, fangs sinking deep into her skin. At first, Khadija thought she was trapped in a nightmare, but the sharp pain pulled her awake. Grabbing a flashlight, she saw the snake sliding dangerously close. Panicked, she dashed from the room to alert her son. Her son sprang into action, chasing the snake out and calling animal control. When rescue workers arrived, they found the snake curled up on the bathroom's toilet seat, a creepy hideout for this unwelcome visitor. The snake was safely removed and returned to the wild, but Khadija's nights have never been the same since. Now terrified to sleep in her own room, her ordeal is a haunting example of how quickly a peaceful night can turn into a fight for survival. It's proof that danger doesn't just live outside. It can invade your home when you least expect it. And if this snake could sneak inside, what other threats might be lurking just out of sight? Keep watching. There's more reckless encounters coming your way. Cobra crashes the picnic. A calm picnic in Thailand turned into a heart-pounding thriller when a deadly 8-foot-long cobra silently slithered into the scene. Caught on CCTV, a man and woman sat unsuspecting as the massive snake crept closer, inches away from disaster. Thankfully, the man spotted the danger just in time and shouted, sending the cobra retreating in a hiss of frustration. One wrong move, and this peaceful outing could have ended in tragedy. But what reckless encounter comes next? Stay tuned. Before we move on, check this out. In rural Namibia, a man posed with a sleeping lion during a controversial photo shoot, allegedly part of an awareness campaign. Authorities claimed the animal was under veterinary supervision, but critics weren't convinced. Was it conservation or a safety hazard we should be betting less of our life on? Would you risk this for a challenge? Comment below. The zebra costume stunt. Two chaos-chasing daredevils, Steve-O and Chris Pontius, took their madness to a new low and a dangerously wild high. They didn't just prank people or pull risky stunts like in their infamous Jackass days. This time they dressed up as a full-blown zebra and walked into a pride of lionesses. That's not bold. That's suicidal with a camera. The location? Deep in Africa. The plan? Stroll into predator territory like it's just another day in the wild. But lions aren't Hollywood fans. They're natural-born hunters, and zebras, real or fake, are on their menu. In the wild, lions strike the weakest or slowest zebra in a herd. And guess what two grown men struggling to walk in a furry costume looked like? A 2-for-1 buffet. The footage still spreads across social media like wildfire. It's been seen countless times because people can't look away from a potential disaster. Fortunately, for once in their chaotic careers, Steve-O and Pontius came prepared. Beneath the striped suit, they wore reinforced protection, especially around the neck and head, where lionesses aim their deadly bite. Even then, one lioness managed to rip off the zebra mask and ran off with it like a trophy. Some say she sniffed out the hoax. Others say she's still wearing that mask, blending into zebra herds waiting for the real thing. And this was just the beginning. Lion's Den Challenge. A Japanese comedy show decided to up the ante by throwing one unlucky guy into the den of lions. Well, sort of. These weren't wild lions, but semi-wild, raised in captivity with natural habitats recreated to prepare them for release. Sounds safer, right? Not quite. The moment the guy nervously asked the staff if lions bite or slash with their claws, the answer came bluntly, of course they do. To survive this madness, the man underwent a full transformation with special makeup designed to help him blend in. But the real survival guide came with 3 ironclad rules from the manager. Never lock eyes with the lion, don't show any fear, and absolutely never turn your back. The staff picked the nicest lion for the challenge, but the guy wasn't buying it. The beast showed no signs of being nice, forcing staff to step in and prevent the poor guy from becoming lion lunch. Despite the looming danger, he refused to quit. When the lion finally calmed down, he stood frozen as the beast approached slowly. Then came the moment of truth. A swift paw swipe from the lion marked the completion of his challenge. But here's the kicker. This guy was so determined he chose to reach out and touch the lion himself, against all common sense and the show's own rules. The lion was startled by the unexpected touch, but somehow he pulled it off. Was he crazy or just the bravest idiot ever? Lucky for him, his protective costume likely saved him from serious harm. Either way, this wild stunt is a jaw-dropping mix of sheer guts and foolhardiness, a moment viewers won't forget anytime soon. What makes this story even more intense is the mental battle raging inside the man. Each step toward the lion was a test of his nerves. The lion's deep growls echoed like thunder, shaking the cage and rattling the man's courage. Every twitch of the lion's massive muscles signaled danger. One wrong move could have been fatal, yet he stayed eerily still, battling a primal fear most would never face. The suspense thickened as the lion's massive paw lifted and then swiped with bone-crushing force. Viewers held their breath, unsure if this was the moment the stunt would end in disaster. But instead of retreating in terror, the man's hand reached out once, twice, again, connecting with the lion's golden fur. That bold gesture, as reckless as it was, sealed the challenge. In the end, it was not just a test of bravery, but a dangerous dance with nature's ultimate predator. One misstep could have changed everything. Tiger's unexpected greeting. A family's day at the Henry Dorley Zoo in Omaha took a wild and disgusting turn. Eager to see a Siberian tiger named Na up close, a couple brought their 2 small children for what promised to be a memorable outing. Unlike past visits when the big cat lounged asleep, Na was prowling actively, drawing the family closer for a better view and a perfect video. The mother, phone in hand, stepped up to the fence with her kids in tow, ready to capture the moment. But the tiger had a different plan. Without warning, Na spun around and blasted a stream of urine straight at them. The foul liquid drenched the parents and children alike, sending the youngest into terrified tears. The father barely had time to shield his camera and pull the stroller away as shock and disgust painted their faces. They left the enclosure baffled, struggling to process what had just happened. Later, the father shrugged off the incident, saying they were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. For big cats like tigers, marking territory isn't subtle. A well-aimed urine shower is their version of a neon sign saying, "This space is mine." It's a sharp reminder. Wild animals don't do photo ops. They defend their turf with brutal honesty. And just when you think wild animals can't get any more unpredictable, wait until you hear about the next idiot who messed with a turtle in the Bahamas. When karma has quills. Flip-flops, poor judgment, and a porcupine. This guy brought all 3 together in one of the worst ideas ever filmed. In a clip that exploded online, a man decided to kick a porcupine barefoot. The outcome? His foot looked like a pincushion at war. Clearly startled by the animal, he reacted by launching his foot like it was a soccer ball. But porcupines aren't defenseless. Their secret weapon? Quills. These are not soft little hairs. They're razor-sharp, needle-like weapons that shoot up when the animal feels threatened. It's nature's way of saying, back off. And this guy didn't just ignore the warning, he walked right into it. The flip-flops offered no protection. The quills went in deep and stayed there like barbed arrows. His friend, clearly not a trained medic, started yanking them out with pliers. But porcupine quills are built like biological traps, smooth going in, agonizing coming out. Medical experts warn that removing them without proper tools can lead to serious infections. And while porcupines don't carry venom, their quills often break off under the skin, making them nearly impossible to remove cleanly. Some even migrate deeper over time if left untreated. The pain? Brutal. The embarrassment? Even worse. His foot wasn't just bleeding, it was a warning label for what not to do around wildlife. Let this be a public service announcement. If it's covered in spikes, maybe don't kick it. And now brace yourself, because the next guy thought showcasing a stingray was a bold idea. When ostriches chase. Ostriches can't fly, but they make up for it with massive legs built to carry their heavy bodies and run incredibly fast. Add a giant sharp beak and you have one seriously dangerous bird. In this video, a man finds himself in deep trouble after provoking one. The ostrich charges, closing in fast with nowhere to run. Just as it's about to catch him, fate steps in. A bicycle blocks the bird's path. The ostrich crashes into it and tumbles into the water, giving the man a narrow escape. Watch closely and you'll see the bird was nearly on his heels. But that wasn't all. Right behind was a second ostrich, just as determined to catch him. One ostrich is a nightmare to outrun. Two? Almost impossible. Ostriches are surprisingly strong and aggressive when threatened, and their attacks can cause serious injuries. This close call shows how quickly fun turns into fury when you poke the wrong animal. The question is, what was the guy thinking to get that close in the first place? Gorilla's surprising squadron. The forest suddenly came alive as a wild gorilla stormed toward a boat full of startled people. Everyone braced for disaster. After all, gorillas are powerful and unpredictable. But instead of launching an attack, the gorilla did something nobody expected. With a swift, calculated motion, it scooped up a handful of river water and splashed it directly onto the boat's passengers. Was it trying to scare them off? Or just playing? The truth is, this splash was as strategic as it was surprising, a clear display of dominance and intelligence. Before hurling the water, the gorilla glanced back as if timing its move to catch everyone off guard. That look wasn't random. It was a deliberate move to assert control without resorting to violence. Thankfully, after that watery warning, the gorilla turned away and disappeared into the forest. Had it attacked instead, the outcome could have been catastrophic. This moment reveals a rare glimpse of wild strategy and the razor-thin line between confrontation and chaos, where respect and fear decide who walks away alive. Stung by arrogance. A simple fishing trip turned into a nightmare when one man decided to prove his bravery by grabbing a stingray without a single second of hesitation. On a quiet pier, surrounded by friends, he held the sleek, dangerous creature with both hands, aiming for that perfect video shot. But the stingray had other plans. Without warning, its whip-like tail lashed out, driving a sharp stinger deep into his hand.
California round stingray. Ow! Ah! Ah!
The man dropped the ray instantly and collapsed, screaming as waves of burning pain radiated through his fingers. One friend awkwardly narrated, explaining the creature was a California round stingray, a species notorious for a sting that feels like fire and needles all at once. The video quickly went viral, sparking shock and disbelief online. People couldn't understand what he expected when clutching a wild animal designed to defend itself. Stingray injuries are no joke. They cause intense, lasting pain, sometimes described as unrelenting burning combined with sharp, piercing agony. Medical experts warn the venom can cause swelling, nausea, and even muscle cramps lasting days. Thankfully, the stinger hit his hand, not his face. If it had pierced an eye or worse, this story might have ended far differently. The takeaway? Some creatures aren't props for a quick thrill or viral clip. They carry defenses that demand respect, and crossing that line invites pain that's both physical and humiliating. The man's lesson came with a sting he won't forget. And just when you think this kind of reckless behavior can't get any crazier, wait until you see what happens when someone challenges a wild tiger in the next story. Grabbed by karma. In 2022, at Kasang Kulim Zoo in Riau Province, Indonesia, a man named Hassan Arifan decided to challenge common sense and an orangutan at the same time. He vaulted over the safety barrier like it was a minor inconvenience, all for a close-up selfie with the giant primate. Spoiler: the orangutan was not a fan of surprise visitors. With zero hesitation, the orangutan reached through the bars, grabbed Hassan by the shirt, and locked on like a vice. What started as a foolish stunt instantly turned into a terrifying tug-of-war. The orangutan yanked him so hard, it nearly lifted him off the ground. As Hassan flailed and screamed, trying to wrestle free, the tension around the cage thickened. Then came the teeth. The orangutan lunged, mouth wide open, ready to bite. Nearby visitors froze in shock. Some screamed, and a few ran for help. After a struggle that felt like a lifetime, a group of people finally managed to pry Hassan away from the ape's iron grip. Somehow, incredibly, he walked away with nothing but his dignity in shreds. The zoo later confirmed Hassan had broken every rule in the book. Worse, he even tried to kick the orangutan before getting caught. Online, the internet divided, half horrified, the other half laughing at the poetic justice. Because when you jump the barrier into a wild animal's home, don't be surprised when karma grabs back. And next, things only get dumber and more dangerous. Rabbit on the attack. In Stowmarket, England, a man learned the hard way that not all rabbits are cute and cuddly. On May 1st, 2021, his girlfriend set up a prank that quickly turned into chaos. She called him outside, promising a special surprise. Suspicious but curious, he stepped into the backyard, only to find the surprise was an aggressive rabbit waiting to defend its turf. As soon as he neared, the rabbit lunged, teeth bared and ready for battle. The man's shock turned to panic as he sprinted around the yard, the fearless rabbit in hot pursuit. The video captures his desperate dash to escape the surprisingly vicious little creature, hopping and chasing relentlessly with surprising speed and determination. Meanwhile, his girlfriend couldn't stop laughing, joking that if anyone needed a guard dog, their rabbit would do just fine. Although no one was physically hurt, the man's embarrassment and shock were clear. The video quickly went viral, sparking laughter and disbelief worldwide. People were amazed and amused by the rabbit's boldness, attacking an opponent dozens of times its size without hesitation. This tiny terror rewrote the rules of backyard wildlife. It's a wild reminder that size doesn't always equal danger, and sometimes the smallest creatures pack the biggest punch. Next time you think a rabbit is harmless, think twice. This fluffy fury might just surprise you. Turtle attack on float. Stephanie's peaceful day in Exuma, Bahamas, took a sudden turn for the chaotic thanks to one unexpected attacker, a determined turtle. As she floated calmly on her inflatable, the unsuspecting woman suddenly felt a sharp bite. The turtle clamped down hard on the float, puncturing it in an instant. The air rushed out, and the once buoyant float deflated like a popped balloon. Terrified, Stephanie tumbled into the water, screaming as she struggled to swim away from her toothy assailant. It was like a horror scene, a relentless turtle chasing a panicked swimmer. Desperate, she paddled toward a nearby jet ski, barely escaping the watery trap. While the incident left Stephanie shaken, she escaped unharmed, just a little wetter and much more cautious. The turtle quickly earned local fame, turning the quiet beach day into a story everyone shared with laughter. One thing's for sure, underestimating a turtle's bite is a mistake no one should make. Camel's deadly snap! Trying to snap a cute selfie with a camel quickly turned into a near disaster for one man. Mistaking the camel's face for a friendly gesture, he leaned in close, only to find the animal's massive mouth opening wide like a lethal trap. The terrifying snap echoed like a deadly clamp shutting just inches from his head. If he hadn't pulled back fast, this moment would have ended far worse than a shocked laugh. The camel's powerful jaws could have caused serious injury in an instant. Sometimes, what seems cute can turn deadly in a heartbeat. Alpaca spit shock. This guy clearly underestimated alpacas, and not in the usual bite or kick way. Instead, his dignity took the real hit. While happily feeding the cute creatures, he made the rookie mistake of ignoring one alpaca. The middle one, patiently waiting her turn, wasn't having it. At first, she just stared, eyes locked on the guy like she was plotting payback. Then came the silent threat, a perfectly aimed spit straight to his face. The shock and humiliation hit him harder than any claw or tooth could. Spectators nearby couldn't help but laugh as the guy wiped the unexpected assault from his face. The guy froze, stunned by the unexpected assault, his confidence shattered in seconds. Feeding alpacas might look harmless, but this furry fiend proved otherwise. After that surprise attack, he wisely decided to leave the alpacas and their spit alone for good. Some lessons come painfully, and this one left its mark, literally. The cow that fought back. Two farmers on a ranch spotted trouble fast. A cow had somehow wedged her massive head between two stubborn tree trunks. No matter how much they pushed and pulled, that stubborn bovine wasn't budging. The farmers tried everything, even bending one of the trunks to widen the gap. Surprisingly, it worked. The cow finally broke free. But freedom didn't bring gratitude. Instead, the cow snapped. Literally. She launched a full-on attack, flinging both farmers flying in opposite directions with a force nobody expected. Luckily, she wasn't out to seriously hurt anyone. It was more like a warning shot to get some space. If she had decided to trample them instead, this would be a horror story rather than a viral laugh. For now, the farmers are left rubbing sore spots and learning a brutal lesson. Never underestimate the power of a cornered cow with a grudge. When a woodpecker takes over. Don't be fooled. Danger doesn't always come with wingspan. This video proves a tiny woodpecker can outsmart even the quickest human. One guy got a bird literally hopping all over his back and catching it? Impossible. Woodpeckers can drill holes through solid tree trunks, so think about what that sharp beak could do to flesh. But in this case, the bird wasn't hostile, just downright playful, turning the poor guy into its personal jungle gym. Watching him desperately try to catch the woodpecker while it darts around is almost comical. The bird clearly owns the game, and the man's left chasing shadows. If this little woodpecker's antics make you chuckle, stick around for more wild moments like this. The unpredictable world of animals is never boring. Leopard capture chaos. Wildlife officials in Ganderbal, northern India, took on a wild challenge, and chaos was the name of the game. The mission: capture a leopard. But the plan? Nobody seems to have one. One official stands dangerously close to the beast, nearly turning into leopard lunch before sprinting away like a pro athlete just in time to save his skin. Next up, another genius tries to tap the big cat on the head with a tree branch. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. The leopard lazily swats him down, showing who's really in charge here. Panic spreads as more people join, swinging branches wildly, desperate to subdue the beast. The whole scene feels like a badly directed action flick, except this one's real, messy, and way more dangerous. Somehow, they eventually get the leopard under control, but not without a near disaster. Who knew capturing a leopard could look this chaotic? Rhino vs. Zebra car showdown. A rhinoceros was peacefully going about its day when suddenly a car painted like a zebra rolled into its territory. That's when things took a wild turn. The rhino, clearly not amused by this striped imposter invading its space, charged hard, horns first, into the vehicle. The impact was brutal. The car flipped, spinning violently, as the terrified driver found himself trapped upside down, probably questioning all his life choices. But the rhino wasn't done yet. It pummeled the car repeatedly with its horn, crushing the metal little by little, turning the vehicle into a twisted wreck. Then, as if the chaos needed a sequel, another zebra-striped car arrived. Maybe trying to save the first disaster on wheels. The rhino, clearly fed up, ended the destruction show and stalked away. The second car gave chase, pushing the rhino off the scene. Finally, the driver of the mangled car crawled out, miraculously unharmed, but probably carrying a story he'll never forget. When nature and painted cars collide, chaos is guaranteed, and in this case, the rhino definitely won the battle, proving that some animals don't take kindly to being fooled. Monkey mob attack. 5 years ago, a British newspaper shocked readers with footage titled, "Dramatic Moment Gang of Monkeys Attacks Man in Northern India." The video, caught by security cameras, starts off normal enough. A man parks his motorcycle and strolls down the street, but then chaos erupts. Out of nowhere, A monkey leaps onto his back, quickly followed by a coordinated assault from a whole mob of primates. The man hits the ground, pinned and battered from every direction, as the monkeys bite and claw mercilessly. Despite the savage attack, he manages to shake the relentless pack off, escaping with cuts and scratches. The aftermath? Not just pain and bruises, but a terrifying round of rabies treatment. Surviving this wild ambush was a nightmare come true, and proof that when monkeys get organized, even an ordinary walk can turn into a fight for survival. Tent terror, bear attack. Camping alone turned into a nightmare when this man opened his tent and came face to face with an angry bear. The animal was right there, roaring fiercely, swiping violently at the tent fabric. Trapped inside, the man could only scream as the bear nearly tore the whole thing apart. After what felt like an eternity, the man found a sudden burst of courage and peeked out, only to discover the bear had vanished. He quickly zipped the tent shut again, shaken but alive. In his video caption, the man warned, "Camping alone isn't a great idea." And he's not wrong. Bears usually don't attack unless they're hungry, protecting their cubs, startled, or feel their territory has been invaded. This close call shows that even the calmest outdoor trip can turn into a brutal fight for survival when nature decides to crash the party uninvited. It's a harsh, unforgettable reminder. Sometimes going solo just isn't worth the risk at all. Too close for comfort. This tourist learned the hard way that lions don't play nice when you invade their space. A red bus pulled up near a pride, filled with tourists itching to get a glimpse of the king of the jungle. But two guys decided to take things way too far. One man in a white and green jacket got dangerously close to a massive lion, while another's legs were nearly swiped by the lion's paw. He barely escaped falling or worse, a bite. Just when things looked about to get ugly, a quick-thinking zookeeper rushed in and stopped the lion before disaster struck. Honestly, this guy didn't even need saving if he'd just kept a safe distance. Getting that close to a powerful carnivore isn't bravery, it's reckless. The lion was clearly agitated, warning them with a swipe. Let's just say that lucky tourist won't be trying that stunt again anytime soon. Nature doesn't do selfies, and it certainly doesn't tolerate fools who ignore the rules. Venomous snake attack. In Thailand, about a year ago, a 50-year-old housewife named Tin faced a terrifying moment while cooking outside her home. A massive 3.5-meter-long venomous snake silently slithered up behind her. Security cameras captured the deadly reptile creeping closer with lethal intent, its venom strong enough to kill a human in under 1 hour. When the snake struck for the first time, Tin's instincts kicked in. She bolted into the yard, heart pounding, panic gripping every second. Her narrow escape was nothing short of miraculous. That chilling encounter with a silent killer must have changed how she views cooking outdoors forever. After all, when a deadly snake is hunting right behind you, every second counts, and mistakes could be fatal. Komodo Dragon Chase. Welcome to Japan's wildest TV challenge, where a brave woman named Ako Imoto takes on a terrifying opponent, a hungry Komodo dragon. This isn't just any reptile. It can sprint up to 20 kilometers per hour, almost twice the speed of an average fit human, and it's starving. Ako stands there dressed in a traditional kimono, with food tied to her by a rope, a tempting target for the dragon. The tension spikes the moment the Komodo dragon catches the scent. With a burst of adrenaline, Ako bolts, sprinting for her life. Every second counts because although attacks on humans are rare, Komodo dragon bites can be fatal and require immediate medical attention. She races past frantic production staff, dodging danger, pushing her limits. Finally, the crew manages to capture the beast, ending the chase before disaster strikes. Ako emerges victorious, her heart pounding but safe. This daring showdown proves once again that Japanese TV loves pushing the limits, and nobody can look away when survival is on the line. The adrenaline, fear, and triumph make it unforgettable. Elephant on the loose. 5 elephants stood in a line, part of a peaceful ritual, until one decided it was time for a walk on the wild side. This wasn't just any stroll. The out-of-control beast had its mahout, the elephant trainer, and another person on its back, but nobody could tame this giant. With surprising speed and strength, the elephant rampaged through the festival, targeting parked cars and motorcycles like they were mere toys. Its trunk became a weapon of destruction as it zeroed in on a bright yellow rickshaw, tossing the two-wheeled cart around like it weighed nothing. The rickshaw was carrying passengers who could only watch in horror. No amount of coaxing or control could stop the furious mammal. Eventually, exhausted from its rampage, the elephant walked away, leaving behind a trail of chaos and confusion. Maybe the giant was just having a bad day, or maybe it was reminding everyone who really rules the festival grounds. Giraffe on a rampage. A peaceful safari suddenly turned into a wild chase when a grumpy giraffe decided it had enough of the tourists invading its space. Instead of posing for photos, the towering animal charged after the Jeep like it was on a mission. The giraffe slammed into the side of the vehicle again and again, turning a calm wildlife tour into a chaotic showdown. The Jeep took some serious hits, dents and all, proving that even the tallest creatures can pack a surprising punch. On a later news broadcast, a reporter asked a tourist if they ever feared lions, tigers, or bears, but the answer was blunt and unforgettable. The giraffe was the real crazy one. This wasn't your average safari encounter, and it left everyone wondering just how dangerous those gentle giants can really be, especially when pushed too far or feeling threatened. They came, they posed, they provoked, and nature clapped back hard. From surprise snake strikes to full-blown elephant rampages, these weren't just close calls. They were face-to-face failures. Wild animals don't forgive stupidity, and these folks learned that the hard way, with claws, fangs, and a whole lot of regret. If you're still thinking about petting that harmless beast for the gram, don't. Hit that like button, or a monkey might steal your phone next. Stay wild, but never this dumb.